This is our final test of the year. You've been working on it for the last hour. I want to make sure you have the answers so you can study well. So we're going to go through this really quickly. Let me go through it quickly. If you have questions, we'll come back to them. But I want to make sure that we at least have all the answers out there for everybody to study. Our first one, simplify the following expressions. When it says simplify, it's basically telling you get it to the easiest answer I can get. If I can solve it, that means solved. If I can't solve it, it means get as few things as you can. In this case, I can solve it. 4 squared is 4 times 4, which equals 16. Number 2 is just an order of operations question. So I need to start inside. So this will be 24 divided by 2 squared. Then I do the exponent, 24 divided by 4. This is going to give me 6. Our next one is when we're actually really simplifying because I can't put x's and constants together. So I have 3 different forms of x. So 9 and 3 gives me 12 plus 1 gives me 13 x's. 4 plus 2 gives me 6. That's all the further I can go unless someone tells me what x equals. Number 4 is just a distributive property question, meaning I'm going to distribute the 6 to both of them. 6 times 2y gives me 12y. My sign doesn't change. It's going to be subtracting. 6 times 3 gives me 18. Number 5 is write the corresponding algebraic expression given the following descriptions. In other words, this is where translating English to math. The sum of an unknown number and 16. They didn't tell you what variable to use, but unknown number means there's a variable there. So sum means add x and 16. The product of an unknown number and 2 all divided by 3. That's saying 2 times that number, and it's all divided by 3. If you wrote it this way, that would also be acceptable. But just the way it's phrased, this was the way I personally would have written it. Number 7, solve each equation for the unknown variable. So now we're back to our solving. I will warn you up front, there is 2 points on this. One for showing your work. So you need to show us what you're doing. Now, so adding 5 and 6 tenths would be subtracting 5 and 6 tenths. I'm going to do that to both sides. These go away. I have x left. I need to line up my decimals to subtract. I need to borrow. That makes it a 6. 3 and 6 tenths. You can check it if you want to, but it doesn't say in the record you have to. It can't hurt you, especially if you end up with extra time. Again, circle my variable. Opposite of subtracting 3 and 2100ths is adding 3 and 2100ths. Remember your decimal rules. I need to add them up. These are going to go away. Y equals, you can add a trailing 0 if you need to. If you don't have to, you don't need to in this case. It gives me a 1, 7, 11. 11 and 7100ths. Here's my variable. Now, so multiplying by 5 is dividing by 5. So I'm going to do both sides. That becomes 1. So I just have y left on this side. Y equals 8. Solve each of the following. So now we're just doing the math. So we're doing different operations, decimal and fraction. First one, multiplying decimals. So 486 and 3 tenths times 14. I have 1 decimal place. The multiplying rule is I just count it and then I multiply 4,863 by 14. And then I'll put the decimal back in the answer. So we just go through our process. 12, 24, 25, 32, 34, 16, 19. I put a 0 because I'm moving to the tens place. 3, 6, 8, 4. Add up my place values. 2, 8, 10, 18, 6. And I put 1 decimal back in my answer. So 6,808 and 2 tenths. A rule for subtracting decimals. I need to line up my decimal places. So make sure you line up the decimals. Now I'm just subtracting each column. Gives me a 5. My decimal comes down. Can't do this. I need to borrow. 17 gives me a 9. Can't do 7 minus 9, so I need to borrow. Gives me an 8, and 3 minus nothing is 0. So 389 and 5 tenths. Our next one, we actually don't divide fractions. I multiply by the reciprocal. The process is I'm going to keep, chain, flip. I don't have any reduction, so I'm just multiplying straight across. 1 times 7 is 7. 3 times 4 is 12. Dividing by decimals. This is one of the trickier ones on here. So I'm going to take my 252 thousandths. I'm going to divide by 3 tenths. But remember, I can't divide by a decimal, so I need to move, get rid of my decimal place. Any movement I make here, I also make inside of my decimal. So that means I'm not, 3 will go into 2. Bring my decimal straight up, goes into 25 8 times. Gives me 24. 12 is going to go 4 times. Subtract 12 gets me a 0. I'm all done. So this one equals 8400. Number 14, determine if the following equations are always true regardless of the value of the variable. There's a couple ways you can do this. The way I personally would recommend is substitute a value in and see if they equal. I would use a 2, because on a lot of these, a 2 will actually show that it's true when it's not. So I would go higher. Something like a 5 would work really well. That's what I personally would use. I'm just going to say 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 3 times 5. 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. 3 times 5 is 15. Are those equal? Yes. So this one is true. Okay? M times N equals 2M. So 5 times 5 equals 2 times 5. Does 25 equal 10? No, this is false. But that's one of those that I use 2. Does 2 times 2 equal 2 times 2? Yes, you would have gotten it true. So that's why I don't recommend using a 2. Use something like a 5. Our next one, x cubed equals 3x. So that's 5 to the third power equals 3 times 5. For most students, it's going to be easier to rewrite your exponents in expanded notation. So that's 5 times 5 times 5 equals 3 times 5. So that's 25 times 5 is 125. Does 125 equal 15? No. So this one would be false. Now, technically, you didn't have to do that if you understand your operations. G 3 times, I could rewrite that as 3G. M 2 times, that would be the same as M squared. That's not the 2M. And those two aren't the same. Okay, determine if the following given value substituted in for x makes the inequality true or false. So I'm going to substitute this value in. So I'm just going to say 2 times 0 plus 4 is less than or equal to 18. 2 times 0 is 0 plus 4 is less than or equal to 18. 4 less than or equal to 18. Is that true? Yes, so I put true. Our next one, 2 times 7 plus 4 is less than or equal to 18. Gives me 14 plus 4 is less than or equal to 18. 18 is less than or equal to 18. Is that true? Yes, because the equal is included. If it was just less than, that would be false. But because it's less than or equal to, that is true. Our next one, 2 times 10 plus 4 is less than or equal to 18. 20 plus 4 is less than or equal to 18. Is 24 less than or equal to 18? No, that one would be false. Any questions on the first page? Okay, your second page. Write the inequality represented by the following graphs. They've only given you one. One key is a closed dot. That means my x is less than or equal to -1 because it's going to the left. The next one, I saw a lot of people struggling on this one, so let's go through it real quick. Miles driving at 40 miles an hour. If T represents the time in hours and B represents the distance in miles, write an equation that models this situation. So what it's saying is I need to make an equation. What does an equation equal?
Something.
Equation has an equal sign, yes? So what am I multiplying? The miles times the time or the miles times the distance? Miles times the time gives me the distance. So 40t equals d would be my equation. So I need to take 40 miles per hour times the amount of time I travel. It's going to tell me how far I went. Calculate the distance of Milo will travel in 3/4 of an hour. So did they give me the time or the distance? Time. So that means that goes in t. So I'm doing 40 times 3/4. In order to multiply, I have to put it over fraction. I've got a 4 and a 40. I can reduce those, gives me 4 and a 10. 3 times 10 is 30. So she will travel 30 miles. Our next one, about how long will it take her to travel 150 miles? Now what did they give me? The distance. So now I'm solving for t. So if we went back, in order to solve for t, I need to get rid of this, meaning I'm going to divide both sides by 40. So t equals d over 40. So I'm going to take my distance, 150, divide it by the 40. Now I need to do the math. 150 divided by 40. That's not going to go into 1, won't go into 15, goes into 150 3 times. Gives me 120. So now I'm at 30, bring down another 0. Or we could just make that 30/40ths or 3/4. So it will take, I'm going to erase that, 3 3/4 hours. Or if you did that, it sounds about 3 3/4 hours. You should have also rounded that to 4 because it said about. I would have taken that. Okay, find the total area. Total area means I need to break this complex figure into pieces. So I'm looking at 2 different figures, both of which happen to be rectangles. I like that one because that 7 was there, so that stood out to me. And I know that whole thing's 15, so that means this part is 8. And then 18 and then 12 means that this part is 6. So I can fill in the missing information from my figures. Figure 1 is a rectangle, so my area equals the base times the height. I've got a base of 18, a height of 8. So my area equals 18 times 8. So I do that math, 18 times 8, 64, 144. So this area is 144 feet times feet is feet squared. Do not forget your units. Figure 2 is also a rectangle, so it's going to be base times height. On this one, I've got a base of 6 and a height of 7. So my area equals 6 feet times 7 feet, or 42 square feet. The last piece is, am I putting those together or taking them apart? Putting them together. So I need to add those two, so I'm going to take the 144 and add 42. Gives me 186. So my surface area, or my area, total area equals 186 square feet. If you can get the units, you've lost half the credit on that problem. Our next one, find the area of the following figure. They've given us a rectangular prism. So I'm going to need 3 different pieces. I need this face, I need this face, and I need this face. But then I need to double them because there's 2 of each of those for the entire figure. All of those are going to be rectangle, so it's going to be the base times the height. So for number 1, my base I can bring up is 5 inches, not feet. And this one would be 10 inches for my height. Excuse me. So 5 inches times 10 inches, or 50 square inches. That's number 1. Number 2, I've got a height of 6.5, base of 10. So my area equals base times the height. I take a base of 10 inches times 6 5/10 inches. And that's going to give me 65 square inches. 10 just means I move my decimal place once. And then for number 3, it's also a rectangle. So base times height. I have a base of 5, and my height is still 6 5/10. So area equals 5 inches times 6 5/10 inches. That one we have to do on the side. So 6 5/10 times 5. We got 1 decimal place. 25, 325, so 32.5. At this point, I've got 2 options. I can go back through and I can double each of those numbers, or I could add them all up and then just double that number. So for me, I'd rather just add them up and double it once rather than double all of them. Although these wouldn't be hard ones to double, so it's kind of be either way on this. But 50 plus 65 is going to be 115. So I add 115 to this, and I get 147 5/10. Then I multiply that by 2. I've got 1 decimal. Gives me 10, 15, 8, 9. Put 1 decimal in my answer. So my surface area equals 195 square inches. Okay. Oh, wait, I didn't double it. Did I double it? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. Well, did you confuse yourself?
I might have. Check your answer, make sure that's right.
195. 195.
295.
Yeah.
2 times 1 is 2, not 1.
I was 10.
I was like, wait, something didn't seem right there. That's why I paused. Okay, Calculate the surface area of the following pyramid, knowing that the base is a square and all the faces are congruent. So that tells me that these sides are triangles. So I know I'm going to need two formulas, one for the base, one for the triangles. So the triangles is going to be 1/2 the base times the height. I know that my base is 6, my slant height is 5. So 1/2 times 6 times 5. Half of 6 gives me 3, so that's going to be 15 inches squared. But I know there are 4 of those because it's a square base. So take that times 4, it gives me 60. For number 2, it's a square. So it's base times height, but I know that they are both 6 inches. Gives me 36 square inches. Put those two together, and I get a surface area of 96 square inches. Our next one, put the following numbers in order from least to greatest. That's really important. Make sure you're doing it in the right direction. So I see the biggest one I see is a -14. Then I see a -5 and 1/10. Then I see a -2.5. Then I see another negative here at 2/3. Now I'm into the positives. 1/10 is smaller than 1/4. That's the same as 25 hundredths. So 1/10, then 1/4, and then our biggest number was 8 5/10. I want to make sure I get it right, so I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I should be good on this. 28. Write the following scenario as an integer. The scuba diver went 80 feet below sea level. So the integer would be -80. Lot and label them. You can see we actually did have a good graph in the copy. Sorry, yours didn't work out so well. We'll try to make sure it works better on the actual copy, the test. So 4, -5 means I start at origin. I'm going 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Then I make my dot. There's point A. Second one, -3 means I'm starting 3 to the left, going up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I make my dot. There is B. Some of you might need to turn your page to check that one. Let me know if you did it on the back side. Okay, we got one page left to go. During the 2017 season, Fire won 18 hockey matches. Regular season includes 27 games. Write a ratio for each. So I want number of matches won to the number of matches lost. So we know the one was 18. I know the total was 27, so that means they lost 9. Quick question, when do we simplify? Always. Can I simplify 18 and 9? I divide them both by 9, so that makes it 2 won to 1 lost. That should be your final answer. So you lose a point if you're not simplifying, if you can. Matches lost to matches played. So I already figured out lost is 9. And we said the total played was 27. Can I simplify that?
Yeah.
Yes, we divide both by 9, gives me 1 lost. 2, 3 total. A package of 650 sheets of colored paper costs $19.50. Determine the cost of each sheet of paper. Me personally, I would have started this as a portion. So it's $19.50 for 650 sheets. And I know I want something per sheets, right? But I want per sheet. So that means 1 sheet. So how do I go from 650 to 1? Divide by 650. Meaning I'm going to do what to the top? Divide by 650. So I'm going to take $19.50 divided by 650. Won't go into 1, won't go into 19. My decimal comes up. Won't go into 195. 1950 actually is going to go about 3 times. Give me 0, 15, 18, 19. So exactly 3 times. So what is my cost? 3 cents. 3 cents per sheet. Determine which of the following are statistical questions. What's the key on a statistical question?
The answer varies.
The answer varies. What is my favorite dessert? Does that vary? No. So not statistical. How old are the students at my school? Yes, so that is statistical. And our last one, use the following dot plot to answer what is the blank of the data. You might see there's actually 3 things we erased because we didn't cover those. But we did cover mode. What does mode mean?
Like the.
Most. Which one had the most? 5. There's your test, guys. The numbers will be different. Just be prepared for it. Item 29, sure. Okay, don't forget, guys, the video will be up. I'm actually going to have it posted before you get home tonight. Good luck on the test. Make sure you study. Test is on Wednesday for 8A, Thursday for B-Day.